I didn't think twice when I ordered food that night. It was late, a little after 11 p.m. I had just gotten home from work. I was tired, hungry, and not really paying attention to anything. I ordered from the same place I always used, nothing unusual. The app said delivery would take around 25 minutes, so I put my phone down and turned on the TV. About 10 minutes later, I got a notification. Your order has arrived. That was the first strange thing. 10 minutes was too fast. Not impossible, but unusual. I stood up and walked to the door. I didn't open it right away. I looked through the peephole first. A man was standing there. Dark jacket, black cap, a paper delivery bag in one hand. At first glance, he looked normal, like any other delivery driver. But the longer I looked, the less normal he seemed. He wasn't checking his phone. He wasn't shifting his weight. He wasn't even looking at the apartment number. He was looking straight at my door, like he already knew exactly where he was. I waited. So did he. Then my phone buzzed again. Another notification from the app. Driver is 8 minutes away. I frowned and looked back through the peephole. The man was still there. Same posture, same expression, still holding the bag. That's when I stopped thinking delivery and started thinking something else. The man raised his hand. He knocked 3 times, slowly. Not like a delivery driver, not impatient, not casual. Measured, like he wanted me to know he had time. I stayed quiet. A few seconds passed. Then he spoke. Delivery? His voice was calm, too calm. No restaurant name, no order number, no, "Are you Daniel?" or "Did you order food?" Just one word. Delivery. I looked at my phone again. The map showed my real driver still moving on the other side of the neighborhood. That was enough for me. I stepped away from the door and called the restaurant first. They confirmed my order was still on the way. Then I called the police, quietly, without making a sound near the door. While I was on the phone, I heard movement outside. Not footsteps leaving, something softer, closer to the floor. Then a faint scraping sound, metal against wood. I backed farther into the apartment. The dispatcher told me officers were nearby. The sound stopped. A few moments later, I finally heard footsteps walking away. Not fast, not panicked, just leaving. The police arrived about 4 minutes later. By then, the hallway was empty. No bag, no man, nothing. One of the officers asked me to describe him. The other crouched near the bottom of my door. Then he called the first officer over. There was a scratch under the door. Fresh, thin, like something narrow had been pushed under it. The officer asked me a strange question. "Do you usually keep anything near the door on the inside?" I almost said no. Then I remembered. I had left my keys on the small table in the hallway, not right by the threshold, but visible from the doorway if the door opened even a little. The officer nodded slowly. "He was probably checking your apartment on the first visit." I stared at him. "First visit?" He looked at me. "You said he arrived too early." "That wasn't the second part of the plan. That was the first." At first, I didn't understand what he meant. Then he explained. Men like this sometimes posed as delivery drivers, not to rob someone immediately, to gather information. Who opens the door? How far the chain lock reaches? Whether there's a dog? Whether a second person answers from inside? Where keys, wallets, and electronics are left? They don't break in unless they're sure it's worth it. They look for easy apartments, careless apartments, predictable apartments. I didn't sleep much that night. The next morning, I changed the locks. I also moved the small table away from the door. Then I checked the app again. The real delivery had been completed at 11:28. I looked at the timestamp from the fake one. 11:11. 17 minutes earlier. He had never come to bring food. He came to look at me. 2 days later, the police called back. They had found him. Not because of my building, because someone in another part of the city had actually opened the door to a fake delivery driver. The same jacket, the same cap, the same paper bag. When they searched his car, they found printed receipts from food delivery apps, blank paper bags, a restaurant cap, and a notebook. That was the part that stayed with me. The notebook. Each page had an address, a time, and short notes. Woman alone, dog inside, old lock, camera near door. And next to my address it said, male, alone, keys visible, try later. That was his motive. Not fear, not harassment. Selection. He used fake deliveries to choose apartments that could be entered quickly and quietly. He wasn't improvising. He was building a list. And if I had opened the door wider, or left the key a little closer, or decided I was being paranoid and ignored the sound at the bottom of the door, he probably would have come back. Not as a delivery driver, as someone entering a place he had already studied. That was the worst part. Not that he chose my apartment, but how little it took for him to choose it.